Hello and welcome to Tax Matters. We are so excited. We have a big fish in the house. Our guest is the #1 taxman in Nigeria and we dare say in Africa. Malam Muhammad Name is Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Chairman Joint Tax Board and Chairman African Tax Administration Forum, ATAF. Mr. Muhammad Name formally took office as Executive Chairman FRS on December 19, 2019, and we can say that he has so far had a good ride. There is a new beginning at the FRS. On this episode, we'll be taking on Mr. Name on his time so far in office, COVID-19 and its effects on tax administration, the new way of doing things at the FRS, and many more. Mr. Chairman, thank you for joining us on Tax Matters.
Thank you, my sister. Baraka da Salah once more.
Okay, sir. We were quite delighted to see the first quarter tax collection report of the FRS. This was achieved under your able leadership, so we can say it is a report card of sorts on your first few months in office. How did the FRS achieve this feat?
Thank you, my sister. It's good that you ask, how did FRS achieve that? Because it would have been unfair to the entire staff if you had asked me, how did I achieve that? First, let's give glory to God and to confirm to you that I should be the luckiest CEO in Nigeria today because I happen to meet quality human capital at FRS. These guys are ready to put in all they can or with whatever they have to ensure that they support us to succeed. So what do I mean by that? God laid the foundation that I was appointed. God was magnanimous to give me competent human capital, and then they were ready to work. So it's as a result of their sheer hard work, sacrifice, and determination to generate revenue for the purpose of funding the budget of the federal government of Nigeria. The second thing we did was to automate the business processes at FRS. Particularly, what we chose to do was to automate VAT collection and the one that I call the flagship tax, the stamp duty. So the result is what you saw. Otherwise, the challenge was enormous.
You said the challenge was enormous. We've lost 2 months to the lockdown, that's April and May. Now, what has been the impact of the lockdown on the activity so far for these 2 months?
My sister, surely you should know that the COVID-19 actually resulted to lockdown of major cities in this country. Abuja was the first to be hit, Lagos followed, and Ogun State. Ogun State and Lagos, you know how important it is to tax collection in Nigeria, because this is where business headquarters, this is where productions take place. And then when you shut it down, surely it will affect you. But the sheer determination, the sacrifice, the hard work, the technology we have deployed truly assisted. And that is why we're celebrating today. The impact has been very huge. The reason being, this is a functional world. The farmer requires the doctor when he's sick. So also, the doctor cannot work when he gets to the office if he has not eaten. So that is the concept of functionalism. Having said that, you can only collect tax when economic thrives. So whatever we do depends on the economy of the country. So the impact was much, but like I said earlier, the reforms we have put in place actually helped in a way that the impact was not truly felt by us.
Now, With all this and with all that the service has put in place, do you think or are you hopeful on your second quarter performance?
We are hopeful. It's a mixed feeling, quite right, because the effect of the COVID-19 is not just about lockdown or a local thing. It is something that is global. The entire world economy has been shut down. It's just gradually coming up, and this has resulted in the fact that our oil prices fell at a time up to uh, $20 per 20 US dollar per barrel. That truly affected us. But during the lockdown, we sat down as a management team and we strategize. We identify opportunities in the economy. What are those opportunities? While the manufacturing sector, some of the sector, the construction site were closed for us to be able to get pay as you earn for the states as the chairman of Joint Tax Board, and probably withholding tax for the services that we engage. Some other opportunities came up. It wouldn't have been possible for you to interview me before now if you had not taken a flight to Abuja to be with me physically. But today, I'm talking to you right in Lagos. I've just gone home to have my my lunch, and I remember that I have interview with you, which is for 2 o'clock. That's why I have to send a text message. What do I mean by that? We're losing out in so many front, but some other opportunities came up. The telecommunication, the e-commerce, you can name them. So we're going to re-strategize. We're going to focus on that. The sectors that are booming, we're going to take it easy with them. We're not going to use force, but we're going to use diplomacy. We are going to talk to them as taxmen, and we see what we can do to generate more money for this country.
Yes, we are really hopeful. Now you said you're going to re-strategize. Fine. The government gave you a target of 8.5 trillion naira. And do you see, or how do you see the service generating most of its revenue from?
We have discovered that it is not possible for you to run taxation anymore without fully automating the tax administration processes. So we're aware that the target remains 8.5 trillion. We are hopeful we will get it. We do know that the COVID-19 effect is surely going to affect the way we should have ordinarily, easily, if you can put it, generate this money, particularly from the sector that be hugely affected. But like I said, the other opportunities we have, the opportunity can only be fully explored when we automate the process. With the shared imagination of the staff, with the cooperation we have gotten from the critical stakeholders, particularly government agencies like CBN, government agencies like Corporate Affairs Commission, agencies like NNPC, we surely will be there. And the opportunity that come our way through is actually commendable. We were having sleeplessness only to discover that the telecommunication sector was booming. MTN was there to support us. When we asked, they came and they supported. We asked people that were actually having the opportunity or that were experiencing booming to please come forward to support us. People like MTN came up to do so. In the banking sector, GTB pay their taxes in advance. So what we're going to do is that while we are aware of the challenges that the economy is facing, we are also strategizing in such a manner that we continue to engage these critical stakeholders. Another one was the NLNG, fantastic taxpayers. So we are going to be with them, because if you have this small percentage of the large taxpayers, you have everything. You are aware that the Finance Act gave certain incentives for about 60% of the taxpayers. Then this COVID-19 again came to impact negatively again, has come to impact also negatively on the way we do our business. So what we have done now is to say, okay, let's think in a different way. Let's do things differently. We know who are the people that are making this money. Let's get close to them. And it is truly working out. We are confident, however, that while the challenges cannot be cannot just be written off anyhow, but we are confident that by the end of the year, government will have the need to celebrate our appointment as managers of the key revenue generating unit of this country.
Yes, we are hopeful while we wait for the COVID-19 to go away. So, sir, what lessons have we learned for the future? What will taxation, tax collection, and tax administration look like post-COVID-19?
Like I've rightly pointed out at the beginning of this interview, the world has changed. The word businesses are carried out has changed, and the world, like I always told my colleagues in the office, will never be the same again. The only way you can do it today, even as a one-man business, is for you to be able to deploy technology so that even at the comfort of your bedroom, you are in touch with the business world. And as a tax administrator, the only option available to you is to automate the tax administrative process. Without that done, my sister, there will be a huge challenge. We started the process by even approaching National Assembly for certain legislations that will authorize that will enhance our ability to deploy this technology to critical business environment that we're truly losing out on now, because the zooming we're doing, as I'm talking to, we do not have the capacity to tax them, but the monies are being generated by the people that provide infrastructure. So without fully automating the process going forward, that will be a huge challenge. So the best way to go going forward, post-COVID-19, is automation of tax administrative process.
London, New York or Lagos, business or holiday, home or office, you can now carry out your tax transactions from anywhere in the world. You can now file all your tax returns, pay online, get a receipt and even process your tax clearance certificate from anywhere in the world online and in real time. All you need to do is log on to www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-services and be introduced to the world of innovation, convenience and transparency from the FIRS. You can also pay stamp duty as you register a new company with the CAC or for other transactions that require stamp duty payment online. You can also file your withholding tax returns and determine the withholding tax deducted from you is in government covers so that you can get your receipt within 45 days as long as the deduction has been remitted. Yes, all of this and more online at www.firs.gov.ng/e-services. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC. Please note that all FIRS services are free of charge. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It pays to pay your tax.
Okay, sir. Now, VAT rate became 7.5% on February 1st, 2020. Has it yielded results? And also, has it impacted your collection?
It's a mixed feeling, like I said before. The Finance Act took away about 60% of the tax base. And it's just like giving you with my left hand and taking something again from you with my right hand. We do know that Finance Act gave us the 7.5%, but it has equally taken away about 60% of our tax base. In any way, if not for the COVID-19, the, the, the impact of that 7.5 has been very positive, because in March, for instance, the VAT we collected this year went up by 30% when you compare it to what was obtainable in, in 2019. So you can now find out that despite the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the rate, which is 7.5, had been able to give us a positive addition of 30% in VAT collection in March 2020. So I think it's a good one. The tax bill has slightly been tempered with, yes, but we have every cause to smile going forward.
Yes, sir, that's a good one. Now, let's talk about a press release that recently came out under your signature on palliative designed to cushion the effects of COVID-19 lockdown on taxpayers. We commend the FRS on this. Do you want to talk on this?
The key one that we have done that surely is impacting on the taxpayers positively and also our collection is the waiver of penalty and interest, which are as a result of DEX review, additional liabilities as a result of DEX review, additional liability arising from tax audit, additional tax liabilities arising from tax investigation. The income tax filing deadline in so many cases has also been moved up. So many things. And we have now said that because COVID-19 certificate has been proven that it can be communicated as a result of contact with objects or contact by human contact, we say use the robust facilities we have, the online infrastructure, sending your return online. If you are not able to do that, you can file make payment of your taxes today, come forward later to file the returns when this lockdown is eased off, and then those that, because of certain provisions of our tax law, will pay certain taxes in foreign currency. We know that everybody is having difficulty in sourcing for this foreign currency. What we said, you can pay these taxes in Naira using I&E window of the central bank. The law states that VAT should be paid 21 days in the months preceding the month that these incomes were generated. We have now said that you can pay at the end of the month. These are some of beautiful support that we have given to taxpayers. The taxpayers are actually happy with that, and the impact of that initiative, you can be rest assured that tax collection has been on the way it should be. The result of April last month, for instance, we generated about 373 billion, while compared to about 387 billion in 2019 when there was no lockdown. The just drop was about 14 billion only. This was made possible because of this palliative measure. While you support taxpayers, you also get something in return. Thank you so much.
All right, sir, we commend the FRS on that. But the stakeholders are asking for more. Can we expect more?
Well, the government has done enough, because apart from the incentives by through Finance Act, the palliative measures we put in place and those by joint tax board members, government is supporting taxpayers using CBN, for intervention funds and other things. So I think government has done enough, but if the need arises in future, we would have no option other than to support the taxpayer. But what we have today, I think, should be adequate enough, and I think you're just trying to tease me. The taxpayer is truly happy with what we have done.
Okay. Definitely, sir. Sir, before we let you go, you assumed office towards the end of December 2019. What would you consider as your major achievements in office?
The major achievement I should, for purpose of talking to you, restrict it to two issues. The first that should be of importance, the most important that we should give priority to is the various reforms that we have introduced. It's not all about the reforms, but the support that we have got, that I have received from the staff and management of FRS, the board members of Federal Inland, the critical stakeholders like the Central Bank of Nigeria, the National Assembly, Corporate Affairs Commission, and the NNPC. It's not just the support that we are celebrating, but the impact that the support is having on the morale of the staff, the collections in terms of tax revenue, and the fact that the business process has now been positively impacted by the reforms. The second key achievement that I want to share as for purpose of our discussion today is the corporate retreat and the impact it had then and still having on the staff morale. We interacted. Some I have not met before. We met, and today we are like a family. The second opportunity that the retreat gave us is that we were able to launch our corporate strategic plan. We did not only launch it, we were able to expose it to staff, the critical stakeholders, the taxpayers, and the general public. The management structure that has not been in place for like 5 years, I actually put it in place. Today, we have a management team that even if I travel out of Nigeria, if I'm on break, let us assume on leave, I have no cause to talk to anybody in the office. Business will be as usual. I'll be able to lift up the morale of the staff because today they agree with, you will agree with them, or you just, like the word I've always said, I have taken the service from the S-Well consultant and I've given it back to them. You will recall that before I was appointed, the core functions of the service, particularly tax audit, was completely outsourced to inexperienced tax consultant. And over 9,000 qualified tax administrators, the most brilliant, very brilliant officers in the FRS were left redundant. That has been addressed. The experienced operational staff, the experienced tax audit officials, the experienced and qualified tax investigators that were hitherto quarantined to non-existent training school, today have been reintegrated into the system. Today, they are heading operational office. Today, most of them are heading tax audit functions of the service. So I think the greatest thing I think I have achieved is to make FRS work again as one family.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are sure you agree with us that indeed it's a new dawn at the FRS, and that when all these challenges brought about by COVID-19 blow over, we'll begin to see the fruits of the labor of Mr. Nami and his men and women. Let's do this again next week. Same station, same day, same time. Have a beautiful week ahead and please stay safe.